Today we visited Moonachie and Little Ferry as our second hearing in the aftermath of Hurricane Sandy. And what we heard today from both the people on the ground, the police, residents, business owners. First of all, the people of Moonachie and Little Ferry should be applauded for their efforts, their resiliency to fight back. They're not waiting for insurance companies or government to tell them what to do. They're working hard together to rebuild their community, to rebuild their homes, to rebuild their businesses. But there's so many sad stories.
Berms that held the Hackensack River back were breached by the storm surge, and 70 or 80% of the homes and properties in these two towns were totally inundated. They experienced flooding that they've never seen before.
I think the resiliency of the residents of Little Ferry and Moonachie, the residents, the business owners was just amazing today. The police officers, volunteer firemen, many of them didn't have a chance to get home for 48 hours because they were still busy rescuing people. We heard today how the Moonachie police officers moved to higher ground being the dispatch desk, the council chambers, the dais, to continue to take calls from residents until they had to break a window and get out and get rescued by boat.
Firehouses were wiped out, municipal buildings, just a tremendous amount of destruction to public infrastructure and also to the many businesses. We had an opportunity to visit a restaurant which had been in operation by a family for 41 years. And their homes were wiped out, their businesses were wiped out, and they didn't have insurance coverage to cover the costs of the damage. And so they're borrowing money against their credit card and other members of the family just to try to rebuild the business. And that's a pretty heart-wrenching thing to see. It really adds flesh and blood to what we've learned about this kind of event.
Hearing from Aldo from Bazzarelli's, who had no flood insurance, 41 years in business, to see him standing there with his daughter, personally rebuilding it, taking his life savings, taking his savings for his daughters, putting it back into the restaurant so he could rebuild for a better future for his kids. That's what makes New Jersey so special, and that's what makes our job even more important. To make sure that government is doing everything it possibly can for people like Aldo from Bazzarelli's, for the people who live in Moonachie and Little Ferry and in Sayreville, who literally on our hands and knees ripping out their sheetrock, ripping up their carpets, putting some of their personal belongings for 50 years at the curbside and saying, you know what, maybe the value of our homes will be diminished. Maybe this could happen again, but this is what I call home, and I love living here in New Jersey. So I think that's the stories that we're going to take with us, and that's what's going to help us all get through this.